The subject line really threw me over the edge, and I just had to open this email, even though I knew it was coming from a completely psychotic person based on that email address. And the subject was delusional. Yes, that's right. That was the subject line. I don't care if someone disagrees with me, my beliefs, my morals, but to believe that you want to push your beliefs, especially when they're so harmful, take the time to have an email address like that, where you're probably emailing multiple people that you know are supporting everyone in the LGBTQIA community. You are a sick person. Sapphics and allies, you're listening to Queer Women Rising. That's women with an X because we are inclusive here. When we hear the stories of queer women who have gone before us, we see evidence that there's nothing we can't do. And yes, we can too. It's time for you to level up in life, in love, and step into your most authentic, abundant reality. You won't be the same after this episode. It's your turn to let go of good for greatness. Your best life is now loading. Let's rise. Let's rise.
Let's rise.
Let's rise.
Let's rise.
Let's rise.
Let's rise.
Let's rise. In a world where everyone wants to be the expert and picture perfect, I'm here to tell you that I'm a big fat lesbian who is not qualified to give you any relationship advice, seeing as I just came out of the closet 4 years ago, and am in my first healthy relationship. And because of that, I think I'm qualified to give all the advice. Just kidding. I'm just going to be real with you guys. I also see a lot of relationships in the wild and singleness in the wild and hear the behind the scenes of relationships because I am the founder of a lesbian dating platform. And so you guys DM me when you've gone through a breakup and you're ready to start dating again, and you start telling me the craziest stories. And I thought I would start answering your questions. So this is my invitation to you to call in. I'm going to drop a link in the show notes where you can drop me an audio file or a video file up to 90 seconds. Give me the lesbian tea, and you might have a chance to be featured in my content and on the podcast. It's going to be a blast. And of course, I would love if you submit a video, but if something's like really embarrassing or you want to remain completely anonymous, you can leave an audio message and you can change the names of anyone that you need to talk about should you need some advice. Okay, today I want to start not with messages that you guys have sent me, which I will get to those, but I want to start with some really weird hate messages that I woke up to. Now I'm recording this on a Sunday morning because I feel like we're recording podcasts right now. But what I didn't feel like doing was opening up my messages this morning to get like literally this crazy message that was sent to me, but to my team, but to me. And it is from a Jamie, spelled Jamie, Mitchell with 2 L's, and the email address ohio.lgb.without.the.tqia@gmail.com, which she already sounds like a real pain in the ass to society. With that being said, the subject line really threw me over the edge, and I just had to open this email, even though I knew it was coming from a completely psychotic person based on that email address. And the subject was delusional. Yes, that's right. That was the subject line. And the email reads, would you stop pushing the delusions of the mentally ill? Trans women are men, thus they're identifying themselves as women. Does not make them women. You are a delusional if you disagree with me. Now, she addressed this to me. Like, all I can think is like like, to have these beliefs, you have to be a really rancid person. Like, I don't care if someone disagrees with me, my beliefs, my morals, but to believe that you want to push your beliefs, especially when they're so harmful, and take the time to email someone, take the time to have an email address like that, where you're probably emailing multiple people that you know are supporting everyone in the LGBTQIA community. You are a sick person, Miss Jamie Mitchell. I just wanted to let you know you are sick. And to send that to me is really strange. Like, why? I'm not going to ever stop supporting the incredible, loving people in my community, no matter how they identify. So, peace and love. And for anyone who's like not sure about where I stand with things, I don't talk about this stuff because I just don't think it like this is understood. Like, you're a bigot or you're a nice person. You're evil or you're a nice person. You give way too many fucks about someone else is doing with their body, their mind, their spirit, or you're just a chill, nice person. And we have a section on queercountryclub.com, which is like our FAQs at the bottom of the page. Before anyone can sign up, they can learn more about my dating platform. And we're very, very explicit that when we say women, which we spell with an X, we intentionally include everyone on the gender spectrum who does not identify as male. Now, if you identify as male, you're not going to have a good experience inside of the dating platform because most of the women in there are cold-blooded lesbians. Like, you can identify whoever you want, but most are cold-blooded lesbians. They just want to, like, live and die with a woman. So if you're identifying as a man, you're probably not going to have as good of an experience inside. But everyone is welcome who does not identify as exclusively male. And my heart is to include everyone who identifies as a woman. I spent a lot of time researching, having conversations with queer women and gender studies professors, both in the United States and Europe. And before launching my website and naming the podcast, everything, we concluded that spelling women with an X created intentional space for everyone, including our friends who are not cis women. Because I believe if you identify as a woman, you're a woman. So to make my views abundantly clear to everyone, that's why I spell it with an X. So that we're like, duh, freaking duh. We appreciate, love, and honor the trans community, and our trans women are absolutely welcome in every space. So yeah, if you identify as a woman, you are a woman, and it's really sad, but there's homophobic, hateful people like you, Jamie Mitchell. You need to go home. Like, society honestly has no place for people like you right now. Like, we just don't have time for that. You can have those private beliefs in your house because no one can control that. I don't think it's healthy. I think it will always penetrate society. Like a evil belief in someone's heart is always going to leak and leach out in a negative way. But we can't control what you believe in your own house. Like, whatever the fuck. But you sending that to people like me is only going to make us out people like you. Like, you're the delusional one. You are not accepting that other people can choose different things and other people can be who they are. And if that's not something that you agree with, you don't have to do anything different with your life. It doesn't affect you in any way. And the fact that you are so delusional that you think someone else's life, body, affects you in any way, you need to like have more happiness in your life. You need to have it filled with more things. You don't have enough of your own joy or concerns, or maybe you're not happy with what you do for work, or you're not passionate about something in life. Because to be passionate about hurting other people says so much about you and the lack of fulfillment in your own life and heart. So Jamie Mitchell, from a big old lesbian who loves my entire alphabet soup community, we will be praying for you, sister. We will be praying for you. That's all I can say. Yeah, because anything else would be absolutely awful. Okay, the next incredible hate message I woke up to this morning was from JC79 2024. And it just said, abomination. And I was like, thanks. That's so nice. It's so nice. Let's see, were there any other icky ones? I mean, there's always icky ones that have to do with my lovely posts that talk about being spiritual and being queer. It's like, this one's great. From Scenic Go Skate. You're commenting the one unforgivable sin, which is blasphemy. Enjoy fire forever. Wow. Thanks. I am literally just sharing love, and I will continue to share love. And I believe that God is love, whatever you believe. And I don't care. Just go be more love. And it sounds like Scenic Go Skate needs more love. Okay. For those of you who are in our community and you experience this kind of hate, you are not alone, and it sucks. And we probably won't be able to make them completely stop being little assholes for the sake of religion. But what we can do is recognize community with each other and actually educate ourselves on the love of God or whatever it is that we want to believe in, our belief systems. Strengthen your own belief system so that whatever comes up against it doesn't faze you. If we could create a shield with our own beliefs, these things wouldn't affect us as much. There could be times where it still hurts. We're human. But it does help a lot. If you believe, a belief is just a thought you think over and over, that these people don't matter. And I know like this seems like common sense, but I'm going to say that again. A belief is just a thought that we think over and over. And we might not realize it, but these types of words, these hate comments that I get, these actual comments you may get from your family, your friends, maybe not your friends, but people in real life, in the street, as a queer person, make you believe things about yourself that simply aren't true. And I believe that God loves us and God created us perfect. And I don't care if you believe in God or don't believe in God or whatever you want to call it. Doesn't matter. But you are made so, and the word used to really bother me because of Christianity, but we were created pure. God made us so good. We're all little pieces. There's a little bit of God in all of us. And for these people to try to tell us, they won't succeed, but to try to convince us that God would create something that God hates, that's silly. God would not create us to self-destruct. I don't believe that. And it's sad that we live in a hateful world. It's sad that there's no love like that evangelical traditional Christian hate. Don't worry. I love some of you Christians out there. I believe in Jesus. But there is no love like that kind of Christian hate. And it is sad, 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 and a waste of energy. So I just wanted to hug you and wrap my arm around you with my words this morning before we even get into the questions that you guys submitted. So you know that I get hateful comments too. It doesn't matter how confident you look. It doesn't matter how you show up in the world. I would love to think that I show up in my full power and my full authenticity and everything that I am with pride. But even when you do that, sometimes people will come at you and there's no escaping it in this world filled with hate. But what we can do is decide what we will actually believe. and we can put up a shield. That's like every one of those words. Like maybe right now you're thinking of someone in your family who's made you feel guilt or shame for accepting your queerness. Maybe like me, you tried to pray it away for so long. And it sticks with you. Like you don't want it to, but it's sticking to you. What I would encourage you to do is those beliefs that were drilled into you as a kid that do not align, or the things that people say to you that do not align, instead of allowing them to stick to you, strengthen the belief that you know is true. That God made me good. Or maybe it's not God for you. Maybe it's, I love my queerness. I accept my queerness. My queerness makes me special. My queerness makes me unique. My queerness makes me have empathy for people on a deeper level. My queerness helps me relate to other people in a special way. All these positive truths about who you are, and not the negativity that people are pinning on you and that's somehow sticking to you. I think of ourselves like almost like those little silicone toys that like stick to a wall or whatever. Like if we're the wall, we can't allow the sticky toys to stick. When I was a kid, I'd go to the dollar store and get like those little like hands. You'd like slap them onto the wall and then they would stick. But we can't have like a texture on us that allows for anything negative to slip. We need to be lubed up, oiled up, okay? Because we need all that to roll off of our back. All of it to roll off like baby oil on a slip and slide on a summer day. Okay? Because that's not the beliefs that we want to hold anymore. And anytime we feel that shame, it's because we need to do some unwiring around the beliefs that we thought over and over and over again, because those are thoughts that we were taught to believe and taught to think over and over and over again, or that has been told to us over and over again. And those thoughts that may be beliefs for other people can be complete lies. And if you can identify that's not true, that is not true. I am love. I am just as good as anyone else because my queerness doesn't take away from who I am and who God made me to be and my role on this planet, my purpose. If you can quickly identify, but that's a lie, and replace that negative thought with a truth and think that thought over and over and over again, you are going to build up resistance to this kind of bullshit and it will begin to roll off your back. And if you're listening to this and you're like, oh my God, like there's a baby gay that needs to hear this in my life, share this podcast episode, because until someone actually broke it down into like, hey, this is just a thought you think over and over again. This is just something that you've been taught to think over and over again. This is how you replace those thoughts. I didn't really know what to do, and it felt like anxiety and spiraling all the time. And instead of someone going through years of that, just send them a little podcast episode that's going to break it down. Okay? So that's what I've got to share with you about hate messages. It is total bullshit, and those kind of people, honestly, they have a limited amount of time on this planet where that's going to be tolerable anymore. Like right now, you're already being outed as like a really bigoted. I see people like that as ugly, like black hearts. Like I visualize like this black soul in someone who wants to leave a message against queer people, against our trans sisters. Like, how much time do you have on your hands? Anyway, I'm getting off that soapbox. And now we're going to get on. Okay, real quick, I need to tell you about WISP, an online healthcare service that is for the girls, gays, theys, and me. In fact, for 3 years, they have been a part of my daily regimen. And know many of you listening long to create beautiful, women-loving women relationships. And that, my dears, begins with excellent kitty care. Like, no offense, I don't know about you, but I personally don't want to be at a kitty cat cafe, if you know what I mean, that doesn't provide the freshest dessert for me to lick. So do unto others as you'd have them do unto you, and keep your kitty cat cafe fresh. With Wisp, everything from the consult to receiving meds is done from the comfort of your phone, and the company is proud of being inclusive, cost-effective, and accessible for everyone. Wisp believes that you know your body better than anyone else, which means no more urgent care visits for issues such as UTIs, yeast infections, or STI treatment. You can save so much time not going to in-person appointments or waiting in line at pharmacies. The free shipping will save you so much time. Or same-day pharmacy pickup can have you feeling better faster. Before Wisp, I was prone to getting BV, but my kitty pH balance stays perfect. Chef's kiss now that I am on a consistent probiotic regimen. Ladies, this is so important. Personally, I subscribe monthly to Wisp probiotics, Sexy Time Lube, and OMG cream. It's like female Viagra. I also get D-mannose and boric acid vaginal suppositories as needed, so I'm prepared if something starts to fill off down there. Also, if you're about to meet a new partner from my lesbian dating platform, you definitely want to be tested before sleeping with someone new. You can order discreet online testing from your bed before you jump into bed. Go to the link in the show notes to learn more, or go to hellowisp.com and use my code Sophia for 15% off. That's code Sophia, Sophia, for 15% off all your kitty needs. You're welcome. Okay, back to the show. On the soapbox, where I give advice about dating or answering my questions that you guys have sent in. And I want to help you with your dating issues, okay? So be sure to submit some questions. Again, the link to do that is going to be in the show notes. We're just getting started with this style of podcast where I do that. So I'm excited to see how it goes. Question I got from It Ain't No Thing X is, do you prefer feminine over masculine women? Oh, that's such a good question. I don't have a type. I have a lovely, beautiful, everything to me life partner that I love with all my heart. And I would describe her as somewhere in the middle. Very, very, very masculine in role, opening the door, wanting to take care of reservations, like those sort of things. And very feminine in love of fashion, but not feminine style, just love of fashion and stylishness and taste and skincare, but also doesn't wear a lot of makeup. So I think I have a woman who's a hybrid. That's how I'd describe her. Generally, like if we're going to categorize it, which categories can either make you feel like totally seen and validated or put you in a box. And I certainly don't want to put you in a box if you don't want to be in a box. But one word that I really love to identify with for me is lesbian, because it feels right and true for me. And after being really confused my whole life about what the heck was going on and why I didn't like boys, lesbian was the first thing that really made sense for me. So I identify with that. I also identify as a super femme lesbian. And the way that I break it down into the biggest categories, and the way that we've been breaking it down inside of Queer Country Club, which we're building out proprietary AI matchmaking technology that I'm so excited about. And it's getting better and better every day. But until that is complete, the things that we look at in terms of women and their outer shells do you identify, and this is up to you, as a more feminine person, a more masculine person, a more fluid person, or a hybrid person? And a hybrid person, what's the difference between fluid and hybrid? The way that I did my research and ended up defining this for everyone is someone fluid really doesn't want to identify with any of those things. Gender doesn't even exist when they're picking out their clothes. That's not what they're thinking about. And they could sway one way to another. They could not care at all. They could sometimes be really feminine. They could sometimes be really masculine, or they could never think about it and just it's just not a thought. And then someone that I would consider hybrid is you fall right in the middle. I feel like hybrid is very chapstick vibes, very soft mask vibes, but also you could you could have all the characteristics of the feminine, all the characteristics of a masculine, but you typically fall somewhere in the middle. And there's so many different types of lesbians. Oh my gosh. But these are like the biggest umbrella terms that I could kind of categorize. There's really no way to really categorize a whole person. Okay. But that's just, I think most of us would fall into fluid, hybrid, masculine, or feminine. And I'm attracted to none of it and all of it. Like, I am very much, I connect through emotions first, demisexual. Like, I'm not going to think about sex or sexual attraction to someone. Like, I can understand that someone looks nice and physical beauty. Okay, but I could see that in a very feminine person or a very masculine person or someone in between. And like, that really has nothing to do with the connection and like me wanting to have a sexual connection. I am definitely demisexual, where I have to build an emotional connection, a mental connection first, and like understand someone's values before I want to do anything with them, before I want them to hold my hand even. So I don't know if that resonates with you. If you are demisexual, you would love being in my platform, because we connect on values and life goals and life purpose, not just looks. And Queer Country Club is more about values and having that growth mindset together, because I felt like that was something that was either lacking or not shown enough in the queer community. And so to put all those women together who are really passionate about their lives and have that growth mindset and connect, you don't have to be demisexual. You could definitely be like into anything. It doesn't matter. But to connect with someone based on something bigger than just sexual attraction was the goal of building the Queer Country Club. And it's working. Women are falling in love every day, and it's a beautiful place to be. So to answer your question, I don't prefer feminine over masculine or masculine over feminine. And I don't think any of that matters. With that being said, I can hold the nuance of I do appreciate categories, because I know that I primarily exist in one pole. And if people can identify more with one, or maybe they are like, oh, well, I might be hybrid and fluid. I might identify with mask and fluid. It'll help you be able to connect with people who are interested in people who present like you. It doesn't define you. It's just a way for you to be self-aware of how you outwardly present, so that we're able to connect you with queer women who are excited and attracted to your quote unquote vibe type. Like, what's your vibe? Like, how do you show up on the outside? So there's that. I got a question from Mariana Nina. How old is your girl? My girl is 49 and aging like fine wine. We are planning her 50th birthday party, and I'm so excited. It's going to be lovely. We haven't settled on all the details yet, but we have like 2 ideal locations picked out, and thinking about all the invitations and just how special we want to make it, because you only turn 50 once. And for those of you who don't know, I'm 32. She's turning 50. We have a 17 and a half year age gap. And I couldn't love it any better. The Queer Country Club is also a great place for age gap girlies, because I talk about it so much. So I tend to attract women who are open to being in age gap relationships and not just dating someone exactly their age. So if that's you, the vibe inside is great for the Queer Country Club age gap girlies. Okay. Debbie says, what's the best first text to send someone? The best first message to send someone? Ooh, that's so good. I think it comes down to finding something about them that doesn't have to do with how they look, something you're able to see about them on their dating profile, or even if it is a picture and that's all you have, which you shouldn't. You should have a very full and vibrant dating profile or social media profile, whatever you're looking at. But if you are in my lesbian dating app and you're in Queer Country Club, your profile should be rockin'. And you should be able to identify something about them that you connect with that doesn't have to do with how they look. It is either what they're doing, where they're doing it, they talk about things they're passionate about, or their education, or their hobbies, asking about that and commenting on perhaps something you have in common and something you want to learn more about. Always give an affirming answer or an empathetic or affirming response, and then follow up with a question about them. That's how you're going to keep the conversation going. Something that goes deep about who they are rather than what they look like. And then asking a question. As long as you rinse and repeat that, you're going to keep a conversation going and you're going to get to know someone. Got it? Okay, Pacey1918 says, can you move on after getting hurt every time after a relationship? Oh, Pacey. I know the pain of this. It is so rough, which is why I coined the term the lesbian dating cycle. It is an 8-phase cycle. And after you get out of a relationship or situationship, and you have to start back at ground zero or phase 1, it hurts. Let me go through the phases, and then we're going to talk about how do you move on. Okay, so the lesbian dating cycle, phase 0, lesbian ex stupidity, meaning you're still talking to your ex, no judgment. We all do it until we heal it. This might not apply to you if you share offspring together, but for most of you, you need to cut the bullshit and quit talking to your ex. Otherwise, you're going to stay in ground zero, and phase 0 will be a terrible place where you're literally like in your own hell with your ex over and over again. Next is phase 1. That means you are single and ready to mingle. And I'm talking completely single as a Pringle. You're not trying to find someone just like your ex. No, you're not swiping trying to find someone that looks like your ex. No. There is better for you on the horizon if you actually let this person go. Okay? Phase 2, the early talking phase, which is talking phase A. In this baby talking phase, you just slid into each other's DMs, or you just got matched on my lesbian dating platform, the Queer Country Club. And in this phase 2 early talking phase, you are trying to figure out something. You are a little detective. You are trying to figure out if you share mutual values, mutual passions, mutual life goals, or not necessarily mutual passions, but like passions you can get behind authentically. Is this someone you want to invest in getting to know on a deeper level? So important to assess that right here. If you're in Queer Country Club, you're going to want to go through a Dear Future Wife thread and like investigate. Is this person that you want to have more than a surface level connection with based on so much more than looks, and then reach out to them. Okay. That's the early talking phase. Phase 3, making plans to meet, which is talking phase B. In this phase, you're already talking to someone and you're trying to figure out who's going to step up and make the plan to meet in the real world, because once you meet in real life, you're going to know if you want to keep talking to them after you assess someone's mannerisms and if you are attracted to them in the real world. Phase 4, you just met in real life. It's talking phase C, the last talking phase. The awkward part at this point is over, unless it's over and you met in real life, and then you have to break the news gently and set there's no spark boundary, but I appreciate that I got to know you. I wish you the best. That sort of message. Or if it went really well, okay, and you're in phase 4 and you're getting to proceed and you just met in real life, your lesbian first date could have gone so well, but it lasted a couple days. We all know how that goes. And talking phase C, phase 4, can be like the best time ever. Okay, phase 5, waiting to make it official. Some lesbians skip this phase after one date, but for others, this phase can be like lasting so long and might feel uncomfortable to you or super sexy to you because like it's not official and it's like fun, but like you like know you're waiting to make it official and you're just talking it out together phase. If you stay in this phase too long, you could be in a situationship and you need to decide if you just want to freaking start over at that point. Because, yeah, if you're just stuck and no one's making anything official and you want to make it official, you need to decide, like, if you're looking for a future wife, which is what you're looking for if you're on my lesbian dating platform, you don't want to be in this stage like forever. But again, there's no right or wrong way, okay? In phase 6, you are officially committed. What a relief. At this point, you're probably making little romantic getaway plans. You're meshing together weekend plans. That's just a part of life. She has a drawer at your house and you keep her favorite mug in your cupboard, and life just feels like peaceful. Like you are officially committed and you're loving it. This is fun. It's juicy because it's still the beginning of a new relationship, but it's also like, yes, like we both know we're here for the right aligned reasons. Phase 7, this is the secure dating U-Haul energy phase. It feels so good to be settled in and enjoying life together. And at this point, you may live together or not, but you're both really happy with where you are, cuddled up in each other's arms and thighs. It's very nice, peaceful, secure, just life is good. Like you've merged so much, and there's no question of like, okay, this feels like I'm giving more. You know, you stay in this phase if things feel good. If you get to phase 7 and things don't feel secure, then like you shouldn't be living with that person. Okay, phase 8. Wife for life partnership. Look, no relationship is perfect, but the feeling of emotional safety in phase 8 is unmatched. This is undoubtedly your person, and you know it. You both know it. You're both equally committed to a future together, with or without an official marriage proposal, and you can't imagine life without each other. You can't imagine future without each other. You know you found the one. That is phase 8. It's so good. Anything before you get to phase 8 that feels like uncomfy, like between phases 2 through 7, like from when you start dating to getting into that secure relationship, like you get, I mean, even if you are married, like you obviously get opportunity to reassess, but at that point, hopefully you've chosen someone that is so devoted and committed as you to work things through. But through 2 through 7, like that's a lot of opportunity, phases 2 through 7, to reassess things. And if something feels wonky, you gotta start fresh. And look, I get it. Dating after a breakup, Pacey 1918, can be really hard, really painful. And like, how do you move on? I don't know. You just decide. Like, you're just like, I'm not doing this anymore. You've given yourself appropriate grieving space. You've gone to therapy. You've taken care of yourself. But at some point, like, I'm not going to sit here and bullshit. You just got to put on your big girl panties or boxers, whatever you're into, and decide you're going to move on, because you shouldn't allow someone who hurt your heart to continue to screw up the rest of your life. Like, they don't get that power. Why would you give them that? So you just pick up and you continue to move on, and know that if you go into 0 again, which is the phase of stupidity, going back to your ex, you're only prolonging your pain, and you are choosing to prolong your pain. And look, I've done it before. Okay, no judgment, but I don't want you to prolong your pain. You have to decide enough is enough. Today is the day I'm going to wake up, and even if I'm not happy, I'm going to do everything in my power to feel good and to produce good things in my life, to take care of myself, to get to know other people. And you start just putting yourself in spaces where you can feel something better than sadness. You don't have to reach for complete feelings of joy. I mean, don't be delusional, but let's start small. Like, if you're feeling like you want to just sit in a bathtub in a dark room, maybe the next day you open your windows and you are putting on some happy songs for a while. And then it's okay if you have to feel sad again or whatever, but you at least took one step forward, and you just keep taking little steps like that every day. And then one day you literally wake up and your ex isn't your first thought anymore. And then eventually, I'd say like 3 to 6 months later, if you're taking active steps every day and you're doing the work, you should be feeling a lot better. I don't know if there's ever going to be a day where you don't have a memory of that person that like does affect you in some small way. But when that happens, you need to remind yourself that they hurt you and that you don't want them. You don't want someone who hurts you. Like if I were to just be with you nose to nose right now and I looked you in the eye, I'm like, do you want someone who hurts you? No. Do you wish that person would love you? Guess what? That person has proven they're not going to be loving to you. Okay. So now that you've been able to get with the program and be in reality, it's time to just start over. And so start back at phase 1, single as a Pringle, and get back into dating. And this time, get back into dating smart. Get back into dating in a different way. Get on the Queer Country Club, my lesbian dating platform, where we're meeting based off mutual values. And the women in there are actually wanting to find their future wives. They're not there to just swipe mindlessly and check their dating app before they go to bed swiping on pictures. That's not the energy there. It is women meeting based on mutual values. There's live coaching calls where women can all get in the room, the virtual room from around the world, and chat about important things. And I lead coaching calls. I have guest experts as well. We have therapists. We have life coaches coming in, guest experts in many different ways. And beyond that, we have monthly meetups where I host a room where we feature women from around the world. And the women that are there, whether it's you watching someone or you being featured, you know what you're looking for. And you get an opportunity to really share that. And people can get to know you, what you're looking for and who you are. And then when you actually connect with someone, you're not having a wasteful conversation to just get to know a little bit about them. We get that all out of the way for you in those meetups where you get to go into a conversation knowing a good bit about someone and letting it flow from there, like breaking that ice. So if you are interested in doing dating a different way, this is for you. If you're more shy and you're not like, oh, I want to be like a featured lesbian or featured queer woman, no big deal. You can come into those rooms and still DM someone that you saw be featured. And the way that we connect, whether it's chatting, we have a voice room where we could literally talk to each other inside of the platform. It's just different, okay? I'm very proud of what we've been able to create, and the women inside, radiant souls. So, yeah. That is my advice to you. When you're ready to date again, join Queer Country Club. And you honestly just have to decide when you're going to move on and that you're not going to allow someone else to continue to hurt you. And if you are open to like the spirituality side of the healing process, I have a song called Healed Heart. It's a meditation that I wrote back when I was doing dating coaching like years ago. And I recorded it on the harp and I put it on Spotify. And I also have a song called My Healing. So My Healing and Healed Heart. And if you DM me the words playlist on Instagram, I'll get you over a playlist that has all my broken heart healing meditations and music that will empower you, but also allow you to feel your feels. Like we're not trying to like, what's the word? Spiritually bypass healing. I'm just saying get the fuck up after a certain point and get a grip. Because you deserve better. And you have to believe that for yourself. You can be sad about it. You can feel all the things. You need to feel all the things. But you can't feel like that forever. So, yeah. Your future wife is out there. And I want you to have an open heart and open eyes to find her. because, to be honest, you have to take that action. Like, I'll do everything I can to help you inside of Queer Country Club, but you have to take that action to even put yourself in that virtual room. Okay, we're getting to the last question from Oh Mercy Me with the I. How did you and your partner meet? Oh my gosh, this is such a good question. Okay, that would literally make the podcast like another hour. So I am going to have you go over to my podcast episode. You can go look it up. I'm going to actually look it up now. You go to Queer Women Rising on either Apple Podcasts or Spotify, and you'll look for the episode from August 12th, How We Met, Lesbians Podcasting from Bed, Our Love Story in Our Morning Voices. And this episode is about me and my girlfriends, not necessarily love story, but how we met story, which goes a little bit into the love story. But the how we met story was like juicy and complex because I was going through toxic stuff. And yeah, it took me time to see that she was right in front of me. So there's no right or wrong way to start a relationship. I mean, like I was saying before, you've got to get to a place where you are in phase 1. And it took me a long time to get out of phase 0. I'm just going to be honest. And it stunted my ability to connect with incredible women for a long time. But I will say this. The person God, universe, source has for you, like, you can't miss. So don't get caught up on someone that hurt you, that is no longer in your life, that has proven that they don't treat you right or prioritize you or your relationship. That person is just not for you. You can choose to get caught up on it because it's something that you can't have, and our brains really want the things that we can't have. Like, think about being a little kid when you knew there was candy and your mom told you couldn't eat it yet. Like, all you did was eye it on the counter, think about how you're going to sneak the candy when she went to the bathroom, all those things. We think that as adults with people with whom we've had relationships or wanted to have relationships with, and then we didn't feel chosen by them. We keep choosing them because we are not getting out of that negative cycle that we went through as children or in our relationships as young adults. And again, I'm so unqualified to talk about these things. Literally. I'm not, I'm just a little baby gay, okay? Just a little baby gay reapplying my chapstick right now. I am just giving you the advice that I wish I had when I was going through a breakup. And honestly, I think people gave it to me. I think I just couldn't hear it. I couldn't see past these women that hurt me, and then I still wanted them, and I stayed in the lesbian dating cycle, phase 0, which is lesbian X stupidity. And you're never going to find your future wife while staying in phase 0. You have to get yourself to phase 1. And I'm talking radical singleness, where you like your life. If you like your life a lot, it is time to get into the Queer Country Club. And if you're working on getting into phase 1, okay, start thinking about it and get in the room with the women that you know you want to be around. But you have to be ready to really love your life and feel like you just want to add someone special to it. It's not like you hate something. It's not like you hate being brokenhearted. You've gotten a place where you're at peace with yourself and life is fine. You would just like someone to share it with. That is when you will be able to call in your future wife, your ideal partner. So if that's you, go ahead and visit the link in the show notes and join the Queer Country Club. It is a fabulous place with high value queer women. And what I mean by high value is someone who knows their worth. You know your worth. You're doing the work, and you want someone to come alongside you and build a beautiful relationship and life together. You're looking for life partnership. You're ready to find the one. If that's you, go ahead, visit the link in the show notes, or DM me. DM me the word dating on Instagram, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. Okay, was there anything else that I needed to share? I think that's it. I think that's everything. I am so glad you're here. Thanks for being here. And if you're in Queer Country Club, I love you. And your future wife is around the corner, and every day new women from around the world are coming in, and it makes my heart so happy because the biggest obstacle to me finding my partner was believing that there were no good lesbians left out there. That was my negative belief. And I ended up meeting her while I was in the development phase of the Queer Country Club. And I know that was because I evaluated my belief, which is a thought we think over and over. And when I reevaluated that belief and I started seeing women coming in and wanting to get access to this lesbian dating platform, I could see the quality of the women coming inside. And I was like, whoa, there's actually a ton of good women out there. There's actually a lot. They're just needle in a haystack around the world. But what if I could take all the needles? What if I could go through and take every needle from every haystack, okay? If there's a haystack in every city and there's only like 2 needles or 20 needles in that whole city that are good in that whole haystack. And what I mean by good is someone who's ready to settle down and knows what they want and values themselves and knows how to communicate healthy, that sort of thing. I'm not saying anyone's like bad or horrible or whatever. I just say we like, I want the cream of the crop in Queer Country Club. Love me, hate me, I don't give a fuck. Okay, so if I go through and I create a place where all the needles in the haystack come together, I could have this huge haystack of needles. Okay, that sounds not fun, actually. Okay, if I could find all the 4-leaf clovers, 4-leaf clovers in a field in each city, okay? And there's only like 1 to 20 in the entire city. And I take all of those and I put them in one big ass pile of 4-leaf clovers and present them to all the lesbians and like, here you go. These are the cream of the crop. That is what I've worked to do. And that is the joy that I have in my heart, to connect you guys and make you see that they're not all taken. All the good ones aren't taken. All the good ones are looking for other good ones. They're looking in the right places. They're looking for you. They're looking in Queer Country Club. See you inside. As queer women, that's women with an X, because of course we are inclusive here. As I was saying, as queer women, we haven't always been lifted up or celebrated. We have often felt left out and put down in places that historically haven't welcomed us. In fact, we have been conditioned by society to be grateful for mere tolerance. My resilient LGBTQIA community, I am talking to you. I'll bet you've recognized the spark that God put in your heart. Your unique calling to impact the world in only a way that you can. A business idea, a brand to build, a coaching program to start, the art to create, the song to sing, the book to write, that relationship you long to build. But that little light inside your soul has often been blown out by the people around you, leaving you conditioned to play small and not step into your full potential. You are not alone, and it's never too late to truly live your most authentic dream life. I would know. I came out late in life, nearly 30, a couple years ago, after being bullied for months inside a country club. Right outside of my weights class, I was assaulted by a bigoted woman who couldn't stand my queerness. She physically pushed me, so I had a meeting with management. I told them I didn't feel safe. I brought forth evidence, and guess what? They did nothing. Sadly, this is normal. But in order to create change, we have to be brave enough to be the change ourselves. So I did a thing. I started my own virtual country club for queer women. A safe place for us to create meaningful connections and grow. So if you're looking for a love connection, networking opportunities, or coaching to live your best freedom life, you want to apply to be a part of our incredible community of purpose-driven, passionate queer women. Join Queer Women Rising, the online queer country club for growth-minded women ready to level up in life and love. To apply, DM me the word rising on Instagram at Sophia Spallino or chat me the word rising on sophiaspallino.com. Now, beyond hosting Queer Women Rising, I am a personal brand coach and social media strategist. If you give me a moment to tell you about what I do, I can share how I can help you, just like I've helped many clients before get famous online and make more money. If you're an exhausted coach or service provider, ready to scale your business for real, or you're just getting started building your dream brand from scratch, and if you're ready to build your own profitable personal brand, I can show you how in 6 months or less. But why should you take my word for it? Well, I've spent over 10 years in the social media marketing industry, amassing over 400,000 followers across platforms like Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube, as well as hosting a top charting podcast, building a successful service provider business, and coaching powerful women to build purpose-driven, profitable personal brands. Yeah, I have the social media and sales process strategies that can help you finally make the money you deserve. Because I want to help you build your dream business that gives you time, freedom, and makes real money. So for a limited time, I'm giving away your first steps to go from less than 5K months and advance to 10 to 20K months. Grab my newly revamped Profitable Personal Brand Blueprint, my proven framework to build yourself a personal brand that motivates, inspires, and sells so that your business can thrive the way it should. Just go to the link in the show notes. Whether you're a novice at creating or you're feeling stuck, hitting a plateau in your business that once had consistent revenue, and need guidance, support, and coaching to get to your next level, I invite you to book a strategy call to speak with either me or my team to see if we'd be the right fit to work with each other inside of the Profitable Personal Brand 6-month coaching program. Mind you, I am extremely selective, and this coaching program is not for everyone, and I'm not afraid to say it. I am only taking on serious, purpose-driven, and committed queer women and allies inside of my community. If that's you, book your free strategy call. The link is in the show notes. And if you feel yourself come alive and love listening to Queer Women Rising, please leave me a 5-star rating with a kind review wherever you listen to podcasts. Be sure to share the show with a powerful woman you know. And remember, when you're called to do something greater in life, love, or business, you will be uncomfortable until you move. So get up and go get what you want. Let's rise. Let's rise.